If you're like me, and I'm guessing you are if you're watching this channel, you like money. And look, I am not ashamed to say that I like money. And I want to make as much money at every single job, at every single business that I'm involved with, in every aspect of my life. I want to maximize the profitability every single step of the way. And in order to accomplish that, you have to have a phenomenal product. You have to have a phenomenal service. You have to have systems in place that make you efficient. You have to have good people. You have to have good customers, and you have to provide a phenomenal customer experience. And there is a time and there is a place in our businesses where we should and we can offer discounts. And I'm going to share a story with you today that kind of highlights why I think this, but also we're going to cover some of the conversations that I think that everybody should have when they're offering these discounts to friends and family.
But before we get into it, my buddy Aaron is doing a free web class on how he scaled his business from zero to over $200,000 a year with one truck and no money. And he's going to give you the 3 secrets that took him from living in his van to building one of the most prominent cleaning businesses in Nashville. So check it out. It's going to be the first link in the comment section and the description. There are a limited number of seats, so if you're interested, definitely register soon.
So recurring customers are one of our biggest sources of business, at least for my company. And we've worked really hard to implement systems and automation specifically through 𝗤𝘂cije𝗁𝗲 that allow us to engage on a regular basis, continue to stay in front of our customers to ensure they don't call anyone else. So with that being said, we had one of those jobs on the schedule. Not only was it a recurring customer, but it was also somebody that we had known socially for a lot of years. We went to church together. Our kids went to school together, and they've been with us as a customer for probably 6 years. Now, I didn't really do my job like I should have early on, and I didn't raise their prices incrementally like I should have. And so that's something important to think about as well. You need to bump your prices a little bit. Customers aren't going to complain, but it's something that we have to do. So essentially what I'm saying is these people were grandfathered into a much lower price than what they would have paid if they had called us today or used InstaQuote to get their own estimate online. They also had been extended a pretty substantial friends and family discount. So like I said, we had them on the schedule. The day of the appointment comes, the job is completed, the invoice is sent, invoice is paid, all is well, another year in the books, and they're going to call us next year like they always do. And like I told you before, they get back into the email automation sequence, so we're going to stay in front of them for the next 12 months. A couple days go by, and I get an email that somebody was requesting a quote. So I pull up the property, I look at the house, see the square footage, and I give them a price. They had a 2-story home. It was about 2,200 square feet. There were porches on both the first and the second story, which requires a little bit more effort. You have to throw up a ladder to get up there and do the job properly. And they also were asking for exterior window cleaning. So I shot them over a price of $650. I saw that they opened up the estimate, and I see that they declined the estimate. Then I get a text from the guy saying that he thought that maybe there was some confusion as to what actually needed to be done, but they didn't need their roof cleaned, just the house and the windows. So I explained that we didn't quote the roof, that we had only quoted the house and the exterior window cleaning. And I also explained that with the double porches, it added a little bit more cost. And then he asked me if I could give him a call because he just wanted to be as clear as possible as to what they wanted to have done. Now, I was very clear on what they needed to have cleaned. He was very clear on what he requested, and I was very clear on what we had quoted, and I explained it to him again. Essentially, I just laid out the bullet points of what was going to be cleaned, and he said that he was now confused because he had seen us cleaning his neighbor's house last week. He went over there, asked for our contact information, and also how much they paid, which was $355 less than what I had quoted him for about the exact same house. So that is when I decided to call him because I wanted to be as transparent as I could. I wanted him to know that we were not trying to take advantage or to gouge him. I didn't want to leave a bad taste in his mouth, whether he became a customer or he never hires us. But he deserved an explanation because I knew based on his address who his neighbor was, and that was our recurring customer and longtime acquaintance who had a phenomenal price. I also wanted to explain that they did not have their exterior windows cleaned, which was an additional service, which was also adding to the price discrepancy between the two properties. He then proceeded to tell me that he was just telling his wife a couple weeks ago that he needed to get out there and soft wash his house. But then he saw our company and decided to ask the question about the price. And then he told his wife how much she had said for that price, that he definitely needed to hire us and save himself all the time that he was going to spend on his days off. And we all know that he was going to spend all weekend, probably Saturday and Sunday, doing it himself. And look, I wanted the job and I wanted to kind of salvage this. So I told him that the windows would be cleaned in our process, that we could get all the surface pollutants off. They would look significantly better. They weren't going to be squeegee clean, and it's not going to look like we used a pure water system. But 80% of our customers don't have us do exterior window cleaning, and they are very happy with the results. So I told him I could knock off $100 and it would be $550 now. Well, he said that it was a little bit more than he was willing to spend, and he knew that probably halfway through his Saturday, he was going to be kicking himself in the ass because he should have hired us And I told him that if he gets to that point, just give us a call and we can come out and knock it out next week. We both had a laugh. He said that again, he thought it was a great deal and he knew that that price was too good to be true, but he had to call. He also said that he understood the value, appreciated the phone call and the follow-up, as well as the transparency and explanation. But at the end of the day, it didn't really matter. He wasn't going to spend the money, which is fine. But the point of the story is you have to have conversations with your friends and your family when you do offer discounts, as well as incrementally pushing your price every single year so you don't have to take big steps. You can just take baby steps, which your repeat customers are going to understand. They're used to seeing it. So don't be afraid. Don't second guess yourself. This is a business and you need to run it like a business. Look at every business that you deal with. Look at McDonald's, Walmart, look at Ford and Chevy. Prices go up every single year. It's part of the world that we live in and people understand this. Your customers are going to understand this. But back to the conversations that we need to have with our friends and family about discounts. And this is a call that I made immediately after having the conversation with that gentleman. I called up my customer and I said, look, I just got off the phone with, he was asking for a price. I gave him the price. And please don't ever tell anybody how much we charge you, because literally it's more than half of what I would charge anybody else for the same property. She said that she knew as soon as the words came out of her mouth that she messed up and she apologized. And she said that she would never mention it again. And this does two things, right? Having this conversation does two things. It lets your customers know that they're getting a hell of a deal, which they'll be appreciative of. But it also is going to prevent a scenario like this where somebody might get a price from a neighbor or a friend, and maybe that offer is off the table. That discount is no longer good, or it was specifically for them. Whatever the case is, you got to be careful. You got to be cognizant. You got to have those conversations at the time when you're actually offering the discount so we don't run into situations like this. And that is it for today's video. Thank you guys so much for watching. I really do appreciate it. I hope you enjoyed the story. Hope you're able to kind of take some of the things from this, implement them in your own business. And don't forget to check out 𝗤𝘂𝗁. It is the fastest way to more money for your business. Quick quotes equal a higher conversion rate. We all know that the first guy that gets the quote to the customer is most likely going to get the job. So don't let your competition beat you to the punch. Get 𝗤𝘂𝗁, get your customers an estimate fast and get them on the schedule. Do not forget to check out How to Wash. There are links for all of that down below. Thanks for watching again. See y'all later.